Well, it was, I suppose the inspiration for it was the X-Alps event, and we looked at doing something similar in Scotland, but on a slightly smaller scale. There are 3 turn points, which is the summit of Ben More, the summit of Ben Vorlich, and the summit of Meal and Ptarmigan, and competitors have got to go to all 3 turn points in any order they like. It's completely up to them, their route choice, whether they're walking, flying, completely up to them. They need to be looking at the weather conditions and trying to choose the most efficient route to get them round. Once they've done all the 3 turn points, they then come back here, which is the finishing goal, sign in, and it's the fastest person to get around the course is the winner. As the crow flies, it's 62.2 kilometres, and the optimum walking distance, if somebody was to do no flying at all, just purely walking, is just under 100 kilometres.
I thought because of the weather that I might just start heading to Ben More and go along and along until it looks good and then walk up. But I think I've changed my mind again. I'm going to go up Ben More. I mean, basically I'm not fit enough to walk any significant part of this. So go to Ben Vorlich. If it works, you can fly to Ben More.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, then all you'd have been doing otherwise is walking with a heavy bag.
Certainly to start with, there's not going to be much flying. So we've got the first turn point, the one behind us just here, is the closest. So some competitors I think will probably be planning on running up and getting that one, coming back down and going along to one of the second turn points and trying to get there for when the best flying conditions happen. And we expect the best weather for flying today to be sometime between 2 and 5 o'clock this afternoon. So the canny competitor is going to be the one that gets themselves into the best position to fly, because obviously the further you can fly, the more efficient that is and the better chance you've got of winning the event.
If it gets to the end of the day and it's still not working, then I'll glide off and sort of go have dinner at the Monarch Isle Mall or something.
So at the same go, people.
7:30 on a misty morning and the first X-Scotia gets underway.
How's Hemmigan looked?
I've got full race car, full competition harness. And if it stays easterly. So we're just going to head along, and there's a path that goes up to Ben More, so follow the path up, and hopefully it should be working by the time we get up there. It's going to launch off and hopefully get some distance before we land, and hopefully I may get to Killen, get a nice walk to Killen in this weather. So that's the plan. So I see there is some cloud coming in, so this might clag us in. We may end up having to walk further down the hill before we can get off. But fingers crossed anyway.
light southerly wind and the mist slowly clearing, most competitors are making their way towards Benmore, either along the glen or over the braes of Balquhidder, where early thermals from the south-facing slopes produce cumulus just at the tops. Meanwhile, Paul Myerscough has attacked Benmore from the north side by walking through Glen Ogle and the famous railway viaduct. He launches at 1:15 from the summit just before the arrival of the weak cold front. Paul takes one thermal to cloud base at 3,700 feet, achieving the longest flight of the competition to the base of Miel Nan Tarmacan.
I'm trying to get to Benmore, so hopefully get some flyable conditions from Benmore. And I know a lot of people are going along the road. I'm just thinking I'm going to walk up the back here and hopefully go over the area towards the back. Mm-hmm. The original strategy was to come off Vorley and come over the back anyway. So I'm just really joining up with the previous strategy there. Mm-hmm. Find out if it works later on.
You can see from the board, the people have got really different tactics. There's several people have headed up this way, although we've only heard from the one of them so far. A lot of people headed straight up Ben Vorlich, and a few of them have flown down now towards this kind of direction. One guy, Steve's apparently already been around there and flown down, and that was a good hour or so we heard that, so he's doing really well. Yes, that's it really.
Plan for this morning didn't go very well, and now I'm running a bit behind schedule. The flying's been a wee bit slow, the thermals haven't been working that well, so it's been a lot of walking, not enough flying. I've been carrying this thing too much rather than it carrying me.
Got a flight down to the valley and the mountain just before Benmore. Had just a nice run into the valley, about a few clicks down the road, and then packed up, started walking again.
It's 7:15 on Saturday night. We're looking up at the summit of Tarmacan, which is turn point 2, which we've always known was going to be the crux of the whole event, or the whole of Saturday anyway, because we knew that if we could get to the summit of Tarmacan with enough time to fly off, then that gave us the whole night to walk back and get set up for Vorlich in the morning. The real fast guys, of course, have done Vorlich already and Benmore, so if they can get off Tarmacan in time, then they've got the night to walk back and win it. As far as we know, Steve Nash is on his way to the summit, and Julian Robinson is up there as well. Yitka's also on her way up, but it's touch and go as to whether she's going to get there. So she may have to sleep up on the mountain or walk down during the night.
There have been, since we've been here, we've had about 5 or 6 come past. Most of them have stopped. The only guy who hasn't stopped is Steve. He just came past the run. Didn't look left or right, he was running. This morning I went up Ben Vorlich first. And when I was about 2/3 of the way up, at about 9:25, he launched from the top of Ben Vorlich. So that's less than 2 hours after the race started. He was launching on the top of Ben Vorlich and flying down. And he flew down Glen Ample, landed at the top there, and must have headed up towards Ben Moor.
Yeah, Vorlich as well. Oh, I tell you what, what's that price for the most percentage walking?
So where have you been?
Well, I did your stupid idea, didn't I?
If Steve or Julian or both can get off, then it's going to be a running race between the two of them to get back to the finish. They'll probably get back to the finish at maybe before 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that, if they can make it through Glen Ogle.
You can see we've got a whole cluster of people here centred on Killin. Quite a few of them are starting to make their way up towards Tarmachan and probably looking at spending the night out here before doing this and flying down in the morning. There's a couple of competitors who've already done Tarmachan. The one who really stands out is Steve Nash, we haven't heard from him since 6 o'clock, and he was in this location here. We suspect he's probably been over the summit of Tarmachan and will be making his way back, and we're kind of expecting him to be back here at the campsite before midnight. The other competitor that we're watching is Julian Robinson, number 9, who again has already done Tarmachan and is south of Killin, making his way back towards Lochearnhead here, leaving him Ben Vorlich to do in the morning. There's a couple of other competitors, Paul Myerscough, who was here, and he was heading for Ben Vorlich, so he's kind of in the frame as well for 2nd, 3rd place.
So Tarmachan, yeah, it really played about with me, because if you don't go off the top, you just land
Julian
on the plateau.
Right, tell me that you've been up Ben Vorlich.
No, I've done them all, yeah.
You've done them all?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Number 2, really? Oh, fucking excellent.
We didn't realise.
Yeah, I thought you were...
You're bloody close.
2 minutes.
Are you joking?
When I seen you turn out of Killin, you know, I seen you turn up there.
Ah, you were on the way up to that
Jeez, we thought you still had... When you said you were on Vorlich...
Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
No.
Vorlich is this one up behind here. The
the
nearest one?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
You've just been up there now, yeah.
Whew. Well, there you go. Somebody get this man a beer now.
Well, for me anyway, there was very little lift. I mean, I've just done 4 top to bottoms. Really difficult. And then the last one, the Tarmachan, that one really stuffed me, because the plan was to fly from the top into Killin, but as soon as I got to 900 metres it clouded in and it started to rain. So I went to the top, came back down, eventually came back to 800 metres, but then you can't clear a plateau, so I had to land on the plateau and then run down. So that was psychologically difficult then, because I knew in the back of my mind that Paul, I'd seen him turning off a track just outside of Killin, and I knew that it was close, and I spent probably as soon as I'd seen him turn, I spent the rest of the time doing mental arithmetic, wondering how fast I could do it against how fast he could do this.
It's been a fascinating day, actually. It's funny, nothing prepares you for the events like this. You have it in your mind's eye, or you sort of rattle off all the hills. I mean, I had the first 2 hills done in about half an hour in me sort of head, and then when you've been walking for sort of 3 hours and you're not actually at the bottom of the first one, and then eventually you crack the first one and you come down, you realise how tough the next 2 are going to be. It's tough. It's really hard going, actually.
I started on Vorlich. It was misty at the top, so I had to come down probably about 100 metres, and then I got a glide right out to the road, and then run. I run towards Moor, Benmore, but I decided that the clouds looked so good, foolishly, and there was buzzards flying, circling, so I decided to go up the side and try and fly, but the lift was really poor, so I ended up running from well, the best part along the tops then, up to Benmore, flew from the top of Benmore, and that was probably the longest and best flight. So I got all the way back, probably about a third of the way back to Killin then, and then from there just running along the kind of the cycle track all the way through Killin, and then Ptarmigan. As I say, Ptarmigan definitely had a few games playing for me, because when I got about halfway up, I could hear this noise and I couldn't quite figure it at first, and I thought, oh no, it's thunder. So the card that I was dealt, which was just low cloud and rain, was probably the lesser of 2 evils really, because I thought, oh, if this breaks then there's no chance of lying down.
And my plan was to get up there and fly down. I think a glide will get you all the way back to here. And I was aware I was running a bit short of time, but I got up for about, I think it was about 19 minutes past 9 or something like that, which is still within this sort of threshold. You're permitted to fly legally, but it was too dicey. I mean, you're not fully compass mentis, as this interview's probably proven, but and there's all sorts of risks, and the visibility's disappearing before your eyes. You get on top of a hill, and the vis ain't too bad at all. As soon as you start dropping in the valley, it's almost dark. I've known people hit power lines doing such things, so I felt better of it, and I was quite looking forward to the walk down anyway.
I'd kind of gone through it and thought that it was possible to do it within, you know, before it went dark, to fly the last flight. So, but it's borderline if there's not sufficient lift. So you have to make up with a bit of running here and there. But great event, superb. So come back next year.
I had it in my mind to do this one to the south last, because it's the smallest, and I thought, that's going to be a good strategy. But actually your perception, I think, changes, because as I got closer and seen it, it just looked bloody enormous. It was about 3 times the size of the other 2, so that strategy didn't work.
First light, Mark Leyland flies in from the summit of Ben Vorlich.
I thought if I go to sleep then I'm not going to want to start again, so I just kept going. Slightly windy on top, but took off and it just straight down because it's an easterly wind, so it's blowing quite strongly. I thought I was going to be earlier because I was in Glenample at 2ish, and I just got slower and slower and just couldn't put one foot in front of the other in the end. So.
An increasing easterly wind is forecast for the afternoon, but it is still calm at the side of Lochearn. Julian Robinson and Nick Ogden, who have walked through the night, also arrive at goal.
Coming over the lake when you knew you were going to make the landing field, it was kind of a nice feeling.
I'm looking forward to that bacon butty now. It's going really well, apart from a blisters slowing down. It's going pretty fast until the bottom of that track, and then I should have made the decision to go here, coming to the rest, but I said, right, I've pushed it all the way, I'll keep going, and then I just stumbling around. I was hallucinating and falling off the track. It was a flat track and falling off it.
It was really not very nice at all.
That's sort of my ideal weather.
It goes on and the further into Glenlochy, the further you get, because they're about 30 degrees to each other. We're going to try and go up Tarmacan, and if we're still alive by the time we get to Tarmacan, and we'll see if we can fly to Vorlich. It's meant to be quite a good day. This cloud's going to clear, so we're hopeful that it's going to be a pretty good flying day.
Competitors who have spent the night recovering in Killin meet others who have walked through Benmore Glen during the night to round their second turn point. Some have retired during the night, most with feet so badly blistered that walking is no longer possible. The stairway to hell starts the long climb up Miel Nan Tarmacan. hazy cumulus begin to form as the early sun warms the east-facing slopes. Most are hopeful of being able to launch below the summit, from where they will fly towards the turn point. The east wind strengthens. Peter, Will and Andy McGregor land near Killin, having rounded all 3 Munros.
Besides the landing, I think it went quite well. I flew off Tamakan in the morning because I missed the time just by 5 minutes in the evening. That was quite pleasant. And then we walked to here pretty much, and walked all the way to the top. Didn't feel quite confident touring it, and it was nice. Southeasterly, just flew out and landed nearly here, just beside the water. So that was quite nice. Quite glad to be here though. I don't think I would manage another Munro.
As the 5 o'clock deadline approaches, David Thompson lands near Glen Ample.
Coming into goal.
It was pretty rough coming behind Ben Vorlich, but we got a nice climb over there, so it's nice and high to come in here. But the wind was quite strong here and got a bit of rotor behind the trees and made a nice arrival. But I probably should have landed in one of the other fields, but the wind was quite strong there as well. I'm glad I've done it.
Here we go, let's run through this. I think for me that this has just been a fantastic experience. The first time I've done anything like this, and it's just gone absolutely brilliantly. First overall and very first X-Scotia champion, Steve Nash. Here we go, Steve. Steve's prize, he's going to get a Super X-Ride speed riding harness. Do not think you go fast enough as it is. And I'd like to give you, it gives me great pleasure to give you the first X-Scotia trophy.
Right, a couple of thanks. First, Cliff and his team, who've put together such a professionally well-organised competition. It's been a pleasure. Second to Nova, because the Ibex 15 that I've been able to run with has really made a difference. Thirdly, to my good wife over there, Shirley, who's had to endure a couple of months of some pretty full-on training, really. And finally, I'd really like to dedicate this win to my mother-in-law, who sadly passed away a couple of years back. But she was a full-on Scot, and she'd have been made up for me to win this. So thanks everybody, it's been fantastic.
Paul Myerscough finishes in second place, 2 minutes behind Steve Nash in 15 hours and 44 minutes. Mark Leyland comes in third place after 22 hours and 53 minutes. Julian Robinson and Nick Ogden finished joint fourth in 26 hours and 59 minutes. Yitka Polichova landed after 31 hours and 58 minutes.
We've got one more person who got to goal. 7 people in total. Scott Rigg, here he comes. Scott, what have we got for you? Here we go. Scott, what we've got for you is a pair of Black Diamond walking poles, but they're on their way. Okay. Honest, thanks. See Mike. Okay. So that's our 7 folk who got to goal, got all the turn points done. Cheers, Scott. I want to thank everybody here who's helped, worked really hard on getting this event. It's run really smoothly as far as I'm concerned. We've had no accidents, no injuries, everybody's happy. But last and not least, every single one of you for coming along and supporting the event. And we might see you next year.
Yeah, it's been really good. I think everyone's enjoyed it, and even though it's been painful, everyone seems to have enjoyed it more than through the pain. And those of us that have been volunteering have really had a good time. And it's been really interesting. I think the weather actually turned out to be really good. So there was a bit of flying done, but it also made the sort of the strategies and tactics more interesting.
Strong, but they held fast. Now it seems that here at last the change is gonna come. The change is all it seems. I've put my colours to the mast. The wind was strong, but they held fast.